Some secrets are buried, others are erased. But the juiciest ones? Well, they get uncovered eventually. History isn't just about what we know. It's also about what's been hidden from us, whether by accident, conspiracy, or sheer passage of time. From lost civilizations to classified government files, some revelations have taken centuries to surface. Some were forgotten in the chaos of war, others were deliberately buried, and a few, well, let's just say someone didn't want you to know about them. This list reveals 15 of the most shocking secrets that were kept in the dark for centuries, only to be exposed by accident, technology, or sheer persistence. From ancient tombs to Cold War cover-ups, these secrets didn't stay hidden forever. Let's dive in. Number 15. The Vatican's Secret Archives. For centuries, the Vatican archives were whispered about like a forbidden library in a fantasy novel. Some believed they held evidence of extraterrestrial life, secret prophecies, and even hidden gospels that could rewrite Christianity. While that's probably not true, what's inside is still shocking. The Vatican only started allowing very limited access in 1881, but even then, scholars had to request documents individually, without knowing what was in them. In recent years, we've learned the archives hold letters between the Pope and Adolf Hitler, secret records of the Galileo trial, and even evidence of the Church's involvement in historical cover-ups. In 2019, Pope Francis finally rebranded it as the Apostolic Archive, and some files became more accessible. But make no mistake, 95% of the archives remain unseen, locked behind layers of secrecy. What's inside? Well, that's something only a select few lucky on Earth will ever know. Number 14. The Lost City of Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument in the world, was never really lost. Locals knew about it. But what was buried beneath it? That's where the actual secret lay. For centuries, archaeologists assumed Angkor Wat was just one giant temple complex. But in 2012, advanced LiDAR, well, put it a bit longly, laser scanning technology, revealed something insane. An entire lost city hidden under the jungle canopy. Temples, highways, canals, and even residential districts once bustled with life in what was once the biggest metropolis on Earth. The discovery proved that Angkor wasn't just a religious site. It was the beating heart of a massive empire, far more sophisticated than previously imagined. It also raised a chilling question. What happened to them? No one knows exactly why the Khmer civilization collapsed, but their disappearance left an entire city buried beneath the trees, hiding in plain sight. Until now. What an amazing find. Number 13. The true purpose of the Terracotta Army. Well, this one is pretty famous. China's Terracotta Army, a staggering 8,000 life-sized statues buried with Emperor Qin Shi Huang, was long thought to be just a massive funerary tribute. But what if it was something more? New theories suggest the warriors weren't just there to protect the emperor's tomb. They were a symbolic army preparing him for the afterlife's greatest battle. The layout of the underground complex mimics the real Qin dynasty military, including chariots, archers, and cavalry, suggesting an elaborate spiritual military strategy. Even more disturbing is that the emperor's actual burial chamber remains sealed, reportedly surrounded by rivers of liquid mercury, designed to replicate China's actual geography. Tests have confirmed mercury levels near the tomb are dangerously high, making excavation a risky task. What's buried inside? No one knows, because no one has dared to open it. They also say dragons live here. Number 12. The Rosetta Stone's Hidden Code. Before the Rosetta Stone, Egyptian hieroglyphs were completely unreadable, a lost language frozen in stone. Discovered in 1799 by Napoleon's army, the stone held the key to unlocking ancient Egypt. But here's what they don't tell you. It took nearly 23 years to decipher the text. The breakthrough wasn't instant. Scholars fought over its meaning, and some even deliberately slowed the translation process to claim credit. Jean-François Champollion finally cracked the code in 1822, revealing that Egyptian hieroglyphs weren't just symbolic art. They were an actual written language with rules and grammar. This discovery completely changed our understanding of ancient Egypt, unlocking thousands of lost texts that had been unreadable for over 1,400 years. Without the Rosetta Stone, ancient Egypt would still be a mystery. Thanks, goddess. Number 11. The Knights Templar's Lost Treasure. The Knights Templar were one of the richest and most powerful orders of the Middle Ages, until King Philip IV of France decided he wanted their wealth for himself. On Friday the 13th, 1307, he ordered their arrest, and within a few years the Templar Order was completely wiped out. But here's where it gets weird. Their vast fortune disappeared. No gold, no records, just gone. Some believe the Templars smuggled their wealth to Scotland or Switzerland, possibly founding the modern banking system. Others point to the Oak Island mystery, where artifacts linked to the Templars have been found. And then there's the Holy Grail theory, the idea that the Templars weren't hoarding gold, but instead guarding a religious artifact of immense power. Their disappearance only deepens the mystery, making their lost treasure one of history's greatest unsolved secrets. Number 10. The Secret Chamber in the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza is over 4,500 years old, yet it's still keeping secrets. Well, we don't know who really made them, but these things are just out of this world. And this discovery is, let's say, more otherworldly. In 2017, scientists used cosmic ray technology to scan its interior and discovered a mysterious hidden void, a space at least 30 meters long, fully unknown to archaeologists. Now is obvious to ask what's inside, but the reply no one knows. The chamber remains sealed with no obvious entrance. Some believe it could be a hidden burial chamber, while others think it may contain long-lost scrolls or artifacts. The fact that such a massive structure still holds mysteries proves that ancient Egyptians were far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. One thing is certain: the Great Pyramid isn't done surprising us yet. Number 9. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived at Roanoke Island, North Carolina, hoping to new homes and start a new life. But when a resupply mission returned 3 years later, the colony had completely vanished. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just the word Croatoan carved into a tree. For centuries, theories ranged from massacre by Native American tribes to supernatural events. However, recent archaeological discoveries point to something far less dramatic but equally mysterious: integration with local tribes. Artifacts, including European tools, jewelry, and pottery, have been uncovered at a site linked to the Croatoan people, modern-day Lumbee tribe. These findings suggest that, rather than perishing, the colonists assimilated into indigenous communities to survive. While this doesn't solve every mystery surrounding Roanoke, it's the strongest evidence yet that they didn't just disappear into thin air. The real story might be a tale of survival, adaptation, and a forgotten chapter in early American history. Number 8. The Russian Woodpecker. For decades, a strange, repetitive tapping sound haunted shortwave radio operators worldwide. It became known as the Russian woodpecker, an eerie buzzing signal that seemed to have no origin. Well, conspiracy theories ranged from mind control experiments to extraterrestrial signals. The truth? It was a Soviet over-the-horizon radar, part of a top-secret missile defense system called Duga. Built to detect U.S. nuclear launches, it operated from 1976 to 1989, blasting radio waves over long distances. The system was ultimately too unreliable. False alarms and massive power consumption led the Soviets to shut it down. The eerie tapping sound vanished, leaving behind one of the Cold War's weirdest relics. Today, the remains of the Duga radar array still stand near Chernobyl, abandoned and rusting, a haunting reminder of a time when paranoia ruled the world and secret technology hummed in the background. Number 7. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Discovered by accident in 1947 by Bedouin shepherds, the Dead Sea Scrolls turned out to be one of the most important archaeological finds in history. Inside a series of caves near the Dead Sea, researchers uncovered hundreds of ancient Jewish texts, some dating back to the 3rd century BC, making them the oldest known versions of the Hebrew Bible. But here's the catch. Not all the scrolls are religious. Some contain strange, apocalyptic writings, secret codes, and mystical rituals never seen before. Many scholars now believe these belong to a radical Jewish sect that saw itself as the true guardians of the faith. For years, religious institutions controlled access to the scrolls, refusing to release full translations. It wasn't until 1991 that they were finally made public, revealing hidden texts that challenged religious narratives and reshaped how we understand ancient Judaism and early Christianity. Now let's talk about Number 6. The Maya's hidden megacities. For centuries, the dense jungles of Central America hid something monumental: entire Mayan megacities, lost beneath thick vegetation. In 2018, scientists used LiDAR scanning to strip away the jungle digitally, revealing over 60,000 previously unknown structures, including pyramids, roads, and entire city grids. The findings proved that the Maya civilization was far more advanced than we ever imagined, with massive urban centers connected by complex highways, reservoirs, and farmlands. This discovery shattered the idea that the Maya lived in isolated city-states. Instead, they ruled over a highly interconnected empire, possibly home to millions of people. Even more shocking? Some newly discovered sites show evidence of mass warfare, suggesting that the Maya engaged in huge, organized battles, challenging the long-held belief that they were peaceful astronomers. The findings are rewriting history, proving that even in the thickest jungles, secrets can only stay hidden for so long. Number 5. The real cause of the Black Death. For centuries, historians blamed the Black Death, the deadliest pandemic in human history, on rats carrying infected fleas. But modern science tells a different story. Recent DNA analysis of ancient skeletons suggests that the plague was airborne, spreading much faster than fleas ever could. This means the disease likely spreads from person to person through respiratory droplets, much like modern pandemics. Another shocker? The outbreak may have started in Mongolia, not Europe. Genetic tracing shows that the Yersinia pestis bacterium mutated in Central Asia and spread westward via trade routes, infecting the Byzantine Empire before hitting Europe. This revelation changed how we understand the 1347 to 1351 pandemic, which killed up to 200 million people. It also raises a chilling thought. If it happened once, could it happen again? Number 4. The Devil's Bible. The Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, is the largest medieval manuscript ever discovered, measuring 3 feet tall and weighing over 165 pounds. But what really makes it creepy is the legend surrounding it. According to medieval myth, a monk sentenced to death made a deal with the devil to write the entire manuscript in a single night. Strangely enough, modern handwriting analysis suggests the book was indeed written by a single person, though over several decades. The Codex Gigas contains the entire Bible, medical texts, and even spells. But the most bizarre feature? A full-page portrait of the devil, unlike anything seen in medieval art. Even creepier, the book disappeared for centuries before resurfacing in Sweden, where it remains today. What happened during its missing years? No one knows. but its legend remains one of the eeriest mysteries in religious history. If someone finds it, it will change the world. Number 3, America's hidden nuclear accidents. You'd think losing a nuclear bomb would make headlines, right? Apparently not. Declassified U.S. military records reveal that since the Cold War, there have been at least 32 broken arrow incidents, times when nuclear weapons were lost, almost detonated, or abandoned. One of the worst cases happened in 1961 when a B-52 bomber broke apart over North Carolina, dropping 2 nuclear bombs. One was safely disarmed, but the other sank deep into a swamp and was never recovered. That means a live nuclear bomb is still buried in North Carolina, hidden beneath layers of mud and secrecy. The U.S. government has downplayed these accidents, but leaked documents reveal just how close we came to disaster, sometimes within a single trigger malfunction of a nuclear explosion. The scariest part? There could still be more unaccounted for warheads out there. As once wise old man once said, war cannot be over until humans get wiped out. Number 2, the sinking of the Lusitania. On May 7, 1915, the RMS Lusitania, a luxury British ocean liner, was torpedoed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland. The attack killed nearly 1,200 passengers, including 128 Americans, and played a key role in pushing the U.S. toward joining World War I. For decades, the narrative was simple. Germany had attacked an innocent civilian ship. But declassified documents revealed a dark truth. The Lusitania wasn't just carrying passengers, it was secretly transporting military ammunition, artillery shells, and small arms bound for Britain. This meant Germany had every reason to target it, as it was technically a war supply vessel in disguise. British officials, however, denied these claims for years to avoid public outrage. Even divers who explored the wreck found munitions in its cargo holds, proving the deception. The Lusitania wasn't just a tragedy, it was a political chess move with deadly consequences. Number 1. The Hidden Library of Ashurbanipal. Long before the Library of Alexandria, there was the Library of Ashurbanipal, hidden beneath the ruins of Nineveh, the ancient capital of the Assyrian Empire. For centuries, no one even knew it existed, until the 19th century, when archaeologists unearthed thousands of clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform, revealing a treasure trove of historical records, literature, and laws. Built by King Ashurbanipal, 7th century BC, this library held everything from epic myths like the Gilgamesh saga to diplomatic treaties and scientific texts. It wasn't just a collection of books, it was a carefully curated archive of all human knowledge available at the time. What's even wilder? Many of the texts survived only because Nineveh was burned down. The fire baked the clay tablets, preserving them for thousands of years. Without this destruction, we might have lost entire chapters of human history forever. If you've enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you pretty soon.